Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Aitayo, and we are going to have a fantastic time today. Sorry, we're starting a little bit late. We actually have to contend with the weather and the glitches with internet, but we're here and we're set. And I promise you, today is a special day on the show because we're having a special conversation with fantastic and special people. We're streaming from Lagos, Nigeria, to West Africa, and of course to the entire world. Please do let us know where you're streaming from or watching us from, and do not hesitate to send in your comments and, if possible, your questions as well. And without wasting much time, I'll just like to introduce my analyst today, and also I would have to introduce our guest afterwards. So let me start with KK. KK, good morning, KK. How are you today?
Fine. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's good to be back here.
Yes, I need to see your top. KK, let me see your top. Are you compliant?
Extremely, 100%.
All right, so we're
100%.
fully branded today, you know. All right, so the only person that is still going
Let me move
to
my
hide
head.
himself is the one and only Prophet Jude. Jude, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Morning,
Rotimi.
Jude.
Good morning, Internet.
Good
And
morning, good morning, good morning.
colleagues.
All right, and then we have Titi. Titi, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, everyone. I still have Jude's bug. I hope I'll get cured over the weekend.
We hope you get cured. I think we need to approach this bug with, the way they do in Orthodox churches. You put this kind of rope before you enter. So we're not going to allow anyone not showing their faces going forward. All right. I said we're going to have a fantastic day today, and we're graced and blessed to have two fantastic individuals in our midst. I'll first introduce the first person, and I'm always excited, seeing his work every time. And he has this customized voice. I'm sure some of you, if you're familiar with the Diary of a Coach, there's this entrance that you just get to hear. Yeah, this is the Diary of a Coach, and I hope he gives us that intro today. He's a fantastic guy. Is a popular person, but he's also an impactful and impacting person. He's a coach, he's a speaker, he's a trainer, he's a consultant. He has a lot of titles and appellation to his name, but guess what? He is here live. It's not recorded, it is live. It's not simulated, it is live. He's here on the show. Please welcome, with a good morning welcome, Coach Sam Obafemi.
Hi, Coach Sam.
Good
Welcome.
morning.
Good to have you live, not the recorded version.
Oh my God. Good morning.
So we are ringing the bell of blessing to Coach. That's the bell of blessing. Welcome to the show. And like I said, yeah. So I told them about the intro that I'm always excited to hear. I hope before the end of the show, you oblige us. You oblige us that voiceover. So I just keep going over to YouTube to just watch that episode. I said, this is the Diary of a Coach, live on the Good Morning Education Show. Without wasting much time, I'm going to introduce the next person, and she is a veteran. And sometimes you find it difficult to capture too many things in one person, but there's one word that definitely describes her. She's a veteran, she's passionate, but she's a professional as well. She's passionate, she's an expert, she has footprints, and I've had dialogue and conversation with her online, offline, in person. She's a great person. She's a serial entrepreneur, and she's loaded. She's one of the few education experts and professionals and proprietor or proprietors that I've met that just keeps, making me see that there's hope. We have a model, actually. And she's here today, and we are graced to have her. And I'm having this feeling that we're having the seat of power in this show today. So all the way from Abuja, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming with a Good Morning Education Show. Welcome. Let's welcome. I want to give her a title today, Professor Mrs. Ajala. Good
Professor.
morning, ma.
I like the ring of
That's
that.
the
Good morning. I like
Welcome,
that.
welcome.
Welcome. So, and it's an exciting one. We are so excited to have you on the Good Morning Education Show, and we know you're gonna help us take this thing to the next level. So, today we're going to start with the news headlines as usual, and then we'll come back to the conversation of the day where we speak with our guests, and we are speaking about building the advantage. So we have certain things that we have up our sleeves. So please, if you're listening out there and you know a school owner, you know a school consultant, whatever you are doing, ensure that you invite or share the message to someone, because what we're going to say in the next few minutes will change your path and your life. So let's head over to the news and we will be right back. Thank you. And welcome back. Welcome back. We are live and we would like to quickly thank those who are joining us. Carol Barlow, thank you for joining. Good morning. Oluwadamilola Afis, thank you for joining. And Favor, always the first time on the show. I said first time, first arrival on the show. Favor Idogu, thank you for joining. Fantastic, fantastic. So we will take the review on the headlines quickly, so that we have our conversation with our guests today. So, KK, over to you. Do you want to say something about the headlines?
Yeah, so it was exciting that the federal government has finally given an okay, because that was something a lot of people were worried about, that, school states are beginning to reopen, but the federal government hasn't said anything. So giving the okay and asking states to do a risk assessment is a good sign in terms of what's ahead for school reopening. Then, of course, the whole ASU saga is something that is still ongoing, and I'm wondering how it's going to play out and actually get to the end of that. So those two kind of stood out for me.
Oh, fantastic. Jude, any comments on the headlines?
At least everybody's moving in the same direction. I read
Yeah.
somewhere that Kogi is also preparing for resumption and all that. So
Oh, great.
it means
Great.
the entire educational industry in the country is
Mhm.
prepared for resumption.
Fantastic, fantastic. Safety chick, you want to say something?
Okay, so I think it's a really good sign that everyone is getting ready, and I really like the call for risk assessment because a
Yeah.
lot has happened in schools. A lot has happened. So you need to go and even check, do you still have the things you thought you had before schools were closed? Because
Mhm.
you don't just think there's that false sense of security. Maybe some things have gone wrong. You need to go and check, and then, of course, see that you are putting structures in place so that your safety systems can withstand the pressure. Very recently, someone was
Mhm.
commenting on the post I put out on safety some days ago, talking about how she passed through a school that was doing the WAEC. And when all of them entered the school with their mask, after they entered, both teachers and students took it off. So this is the time for everyone to prepare and ensure that compliance happens. We can't just do it to a point and then stop doing it. No, it has to be continuous. Otherwise, we're going to compromise the safety of the children and even the teachers.
Okay. Titi, any comments on the news?
I think everybody has said it all. The only thing I would just add is that as school prepare, I will also say they should also prepare for a worst case scenario, which is you resume and something happens and we are forced to close. So it's important that
Yeah.
you have that backup plan. That would be my advice because
Mhm.
you know we're trying to force the whole economy to open. Till we do that,
Mhm.
before we really know what will happen. So my advice is that as you
Impact.
plan to resume for every school owner, also have a plan to say, if for any reason you have to go online or do, this, we already have the structures, the processes in place
Yeah.
that would, take that
Yeah.
to minimize the destruction in the term. And I
Learning.
think at school
Absolutely.
close, just some feedback. It's important that government gives, either the government or the state give directives, clear directives in terms of what term are people really doing. And I think that applies a lot for the public schools because the private schools are just problem. What term are they really doing? Some people feel they are resuming for their second term exams before they continue
Yeah.
to term. Just to provide a bit more, detailed guidance is what I would say as well.
Let's welcome Eben to the building. Eben, I love your cut. It's like looking like you're from Las Vegas, Nevada.
No matter. Today
You
is the
want to say
conference,
something on the
so
news, Eben?
Yeah.
yeah,
Today is
yeah.
your conference.
Yeah. So I when I saw the news, it was yesterday when I even saw the news, I was happy. But this morning I woke up and I observed that the College of Education are actually preparing to go on strike. I think they've even started, if possible, today. They declare that they are on strike, or maybe they are trying to be on strike. I know that so many federal organizations will be taking advantage of the resumption for them to be able to seek for some of their demands and more. And somebody actually said something not quite long. I've been receiving so many calls for some time. The calls are just like, are we resuming first term? Are we resuming third term? Different questions. I think for government to actually call for a town hall meeting. I think Quality Assurance is trying to do something like that. So there should be a curriculum town hall meeting for administrators, anybody that is actually interested in the education sector, to actually talk about it. Okay, this is what we have on grant. This is that. The private school and the public school should actually come together to deliberate about this, because it is not all about the public school alone. The private school actually need a lot of orientation about what should be done right now. And I'm very sure that for those people who have actually not practiced the online learning, they should be thinking of first term, but some of them don't know. So I am actually I'm happy for the resumption, but I am still not satisfied with a lot of preparation from school owners, from teachers, even teachers themselves. Even for now, we have issue of teachers not even available for now in some schools. I've been getting a lot of job vacancies. Teachers are not available in some schools again. Teachers are actually, some people sack their teachers, and then some group of teachers actually left some schools. So there are going to be a lot of fresh challenges that is going to be ahead. I think those are the part of the thing that I'm actually looking forward to look for solution to actually help out. Thank you, Mr. Ruti.
Thank you so much. So without wasting much time, I don't know if our guests have one or two things to say on the news. Although our conversation today would tackle some of the headline issues. But Mr. Ajala, do you want to say something about the headline news?
Well, same thing like they have said, to have a proper timetable of resumption, because people are in between. A lot of people obeyed government to say, do not do third term, do not do this. Some didn't obey. Many schools went ahead, they've done their graduation, they did their third term and they moved. So there is that imbalance, and there needs to be a clear articulation from the federal government on this. And the federal government should actually engage. We're not seeing the kind of engagement we like to see with the private sector. It's as if their decisions are just based on the public schools and what it should be. And I think the proportion of schools are also with the private schools. So it's important for that engagement and the dialogue and the town hall meeting to take place so that we're all speaking with one voice and on the same page.
Fantastic. Coach Sam, any comments on the news?
I was speaking as a parent. I'm afraid about the impact of my kids not being in school and not having the effective education so far. But I'm also very unsure about them resuming school. I cannot categorically say my daughters will be back in school. So I think part of the narrative should be the government should help schools to meet up with the obligation of the NCDC protocol so that we
I think we lost him.
Yeah, network.
All right. Okay, so while we wait for Coach Sam coming back online, okay, let's just head over to the conversation of the day. I'm excited we have our professor in the building, Professor Mrs. Ajala. Yeah, it feels like I'm conferring with the power from the show.
I
Best
receive it.
I confer you. All right, so let's just have we're talking about building the advantage, and a lot of people out there need to understand that the times that we are in is something that we need to find the best of leverage at. And I'd like to ask you, Matt, just to open the floor, looking at the topic, addressing the topic in itself for those school owners out there, people who are practitioners in the education space, right? What exactly do we really mean by having to build advantage? What's the length and breadth of it? If you don't mind, can you open the floor on that, Matt, please?
Okay, thank you very much. If you look at just the ordinary definition of an advantage or what it connotes, what comes to mind when you hear the word advantage? You think of opportunities, you think of being favorable to success, you think of profit, benefit, gain, reward, having an edge over something. And so, in a season that is very uncertain, in a season that does not show you a clear direction, your advantages will come from being knowledgeable in what is current. And so, which means we need to up our intake of information. We need to reskill ourselves. What are the skills for the future we should be doing? We need to belong to networks that will support what we're doing. We need to be available to be coached and to be mentored for decisions that will impact positively, because many schools have taken decisions based on the challenges they're going through. They had no opportunity maybe to have a discussion with somebody. They had no opportunity to even rub minds to say, this is what I'm facing. And then they have the advantage of getting very informed information that will lead to good decision making for them. So it's important at this point that every advantage you can lay your hands on to help you be sustainable in the industry, you must take it up. I'll give an example. For example, many schools live on loans. We go from loan to loan. As you are finishing this loan, you are entering. And so, of course, when the pandemic came, the loans were hanging for many schools and the interest were rising. Of course, initially the banks were very accommodating. Okay, we will restructure and all that. They restructured for 2 months. Nothing happened. They had to restructure for another 2 months. Nothing has happened. The schools have not been called back. But they believe that there's partial resumption with the coming back of JS3 and SS3 for the examinations, which means life is beginning to come back to school. And the first thing on their mind is to begin to take their money. So many schools will be under pressure to return that money. What does an advantage give you there? If you're in a network that is able to guide, if you are within a group where the information you are getting is targeted at your specific problems, then you get an advantage. For example, that the NISA loan came out, and the NISA loan was for SMEs, schools inclusive, and the NISA loan was 5%, and the NISA loan was for like 4 or 5 years. And so what that would mean was that you would quickly apply for that NISA loan, take it to knock off your 17% loan, and see how you restructure yourself on a 5% going forward. But a lot of us ignored even that NISA loan. We just felt they were not talking to us. That's not the issue to our problem now, because we didn't have the opportunity for constructive thinking to move forward with that discussion. So that is what an advantage does. It could be in any form. And I just give that small example.
Wow, wow, wow. You guys can see that's just an
Yes,
introduction
that's
and answer. You can see why she is a prof. And she's saying
my
it with tight energy. She's not even breaking sweat. There's no vein.
like
Pro
just
TV.
Okay,
It was a direct
okay,
thing.
I trouble. I'm coming for you. All right. Do you guys have questions? Let's just have questions before we have other questions from the audience. KK, do you want to ask a question? Titi, do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, so I mean, while Mrs. Ajala was speaking, go ahead, Titi. My network seems to be fluctuating. Hello, Titi.
Okay. Honestly, I felt that was a fantastic insight that Mrs. Ajala provided, because a lot of school owners are not very, how will I say, they don't have a lot of business financial know-how to realize that, dropping 17% or 20% or 5% is really the way to go. At least the worst that you should do is go and exploit. So my question is to the teachers, because now we are leaving the schools, to the teachers, what beyond networks, what other thing can they do to leverage on the advantage, or to ensure that they have an advantage?
The teachers.
Yes, the teachers.
Okay. I'll give an instance of what we did. The moment it happened, so that there will be no learning gap for the children, we decided, of course, like every other school, to transit online and to ask for not school fees, but to ask for an allowance that could cover data and a bit of a living allowance, a living wage for the teachers, so that keeps them engaged. And so we had a plan. And the plan was, what can we do to keep engaging? Not only as a school, but we also had an investment meeting as a team. What are the investment opportunities that we can collaborate together on? And it will interest you to know that there was even an investment collaborative opportunity with a farm. That, okay, and so we even began to take products from that farm to begin to sell to parents and to the network. And each time, for the number of things they sold, there were rewards both in food and in cash. And they came up with about 5 investment opportunities. And those investment opportunities, we decided to go headlong with them after due diligence and say 3-4 people can do this, 3-4 people can do this. Let's put it together so that we can keep earning investments that will keep us earning for the next 1 year, so that no matter how bad it is, there's something coming in for you. And then we now had a program with the school the moment we finished the regular online lessons, we moved on to virtual summer school. And the virtual summer school, we said, make a pitch. We told the teachers, make a pitch for what you would like to see, what you would like to teach. So people made a pitch to take ICT, graphic, web design, coding, robotics. There was a pitch for baking and for cooking skills. There was a pitch for life skills, emotional intelligence, time management, and research things. And we leverage on the network of the school to market it wide. And we even had people from out of the country, a lot of children from out of the country joining the baking class. And you see, so that kept them busy. So you need to be in the leadership of every school must look beyond themselves to see how, because when we say customers, many times schools think parents are their customers alone. Teachers are your key customers because they drive the entire thing you're doing. And so if you are not in sync and providing the right leadership for them, they lose confidence and they can't do much. So we kept working on different activities. Now we have finished summer school. Government has said they want to resume. We are ready to go back online to conclude our third term. And that information was going to go out to parents, and the teachers were already getting ready for that. So we're still going to go ahead. If we resume, fine, we move on. If we do not resume, it goes on. So those are the kind of advantages. You must show leadership with your team. It's very important.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. A lot of people are saying, I agree with you, Mr. Ajala, on Facebook, on YouTube as well. Great conversation. And just before any other question comes in, I just want to use this opportunity to use there's a program that I would not call it a program, but I will still allow Coach Sam to talk about it. So there's a solution. I wouldn't want to call it a program. So I'll wait for Coach Sam to say what it is, the right words. Coach has a way of using the right words. So there's a solution that actually is like on the back of the conversation that you just heard from Mr. Ajala, and I'd like Coach Sam to talk about it as we address the issue of building advantage.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Apologies, my network threw me out earlier. So the solution we have conceived is called Fix It. And we, just like Mrs. Ajala has shared, our concern is for school owners, our concern is for schools, the teachers, and the stakeholders within the educational sector. And we felt like we needed to leverage on our collective resources, collective skills, collective experiences to give advantage to many people who own schools and run schools. Now, like Mrs. Ajala has said, it is one thing for you to have the heart to help your staff. It's one thing to have the desire to help uplift your school. It's another thing for you to leverage on skills of people that are trusted in the industry and people who have the wherewithal to empower them. So we have created a solution called Fix It that is, in my opinion, extremely affordable for school owners to be able to say, you know what, I need someone that can help me think. I need someone that can help me get light. I need someone that can give me a sense of direction. I need answers to questions that I don't know how to answer. How do I transit into an online infrastructure? How do I renegotiate my payments of wages and salaries? How do I improve my staff capacity? How do I manage parents' pressures? How do I get monies from my parents for ideas that we have in our schools? There are several questions that are being asked, and we have decided to create a suite of solutions. And the vehicle we're using is Telegram. So we believe that if we can position you and be available for you in terms of coaching you, guiding you, advising you, strategizing with you, then you'll be able to get a lot of mileage in the course of the few weeks that are coming. We plan to do this for the first 3 months only to be able to see how we're able to impact to as many schools as possible. We don't want to take so many schools also, or many school owners, because we want to be able to maximize the resources we want to share. So it's more like a first come, first served basis for you to be able to partake in this solution. This solution is going to be anchored by myself, Mrs. Angela Ajala, and Mr. Rotimi Eitayo. And we want to focus on the first few schools that subscribe to this solution, because we want to be able to share with you our experiences, our capital, and our wealth of understanding of the sector to be able to give you some form of transition. Mr. Jala has sufficiently talked about how in her school they've been able to undertake some, summer boot camp in vocational skills. As she was speaking, I was thinking, what of the neurological impact of the teachers? How many teachers have the willingness, the enthusiasm to develop their own capacity? Because sometimes teachers feel like, well, if the school is not doing it, I'm not doing it. And these are some of the questions we want to answer. How do we get your teachers to be self-motivated enough to develop their own capacity and develop their own revenue streams that does not impact on their work in your school? Because when your teachers become more financially fluid, they're able to be committed to what they do for you in the school. So we want to be able to give you that advantage. I want to be able to be available to you. That's why it's for very few schools, because we want to give you all the attention that you deserve, at least for the next 3 months. There is a lot of uncertainty in this entire narrative, but gratefully enough, we have been able to support tons of businesses throughout the COVID, and we can now, tell you, oh, we now see a pattern that we want to be able to open your eyes to. So it is, like I said, on a first come, first served basis. Not many schools can join because the space is going to be limited. But if you really want to get on board, then you want to be able to ask for details on how to be enlisted on the program. I hope that helps.
You anything. That is the voice of the coach.
I knew you were going to say that.
Thank you so much, Coach Sam. Just in case some people are wondering, or they're just thrown away with that fantastic baritone voice, Coach Sam is not just Coach Sam. Coach Sam is an engine, is an industry on its own, and he's been able to not just speak things into being. He's been able to drive the process and replicate it in other people. I hardly get impressed with so many things out there, but I am his fan. But this type of fan pays, because you have a book that says fan pays. I feel,
What do I
um,
know?
so I'm sure, Gochi, Coach Sam, don't you? Coach Sam Obafemi, you should know him, right? Everyone that doesn't know Coach Sam needs to know Coach Sam. He actually, when the solution was conceived, when I was just looking, I said, what, no problem. Because when you look at it from the front end to the back end, you've been covered as a school, as an entity, for your process, for your systems, for your pursuit, for your people.
Yeah.
Everything. And Sam has a business group that I've been following from afar closely. I've been doing CIA work on him, and I've seen organic growth, systemic growth, progressive growth consistently. And that's why when we talked about building advantage, I just said, you know what, I need to bring Coach Sam, I need to bring Dr. Professor Mrs. Ajala to this show. And let's just get to ask them questions. And you know what? We have fantastic analysts. Don't look at their smile, or they're just wearing white top today. It's a there's a associate of ours launching a shoe brand today called Heroes. So they gave us tops. If you can see my top,
Yeah.
we are all on the top right now. Yeah, safety check is showing. This is not showing our own. This is not showing his own. But KK is on our own top. We'll find those other ones. But these guys also have questions they want to ask. I'm telling you, Safety Chick has a notepad of questions. So I'm going to hand over the opportunity to Safety Chick to just ask a question, then probably Jude, and then back to Titi. So Safety Chick, over to you.
Okay, so speaking about advantage, I know that a lot of teachers feel like they have the short end of the stick, as it were. They feel like there's a lot against them, and it almost seemed like there was too much pressure on teachers during this pandemic. Oh, teachers, education must continue. Oh, you need to get online. Oh, do Google Classroom. Oh, use Zoom. There was just too much pressure on them. And of course, in as much as they are getting this pressure to perform, they might also be facing challenges at home. Maybe they do not even have enough resources to cater to themselves and their family. And maybe they might be going through other mental health issues. Are there plans in place, maybe in the various networks that you have that involves teachers, for this psychosocial aspect of things to be covered? Because in as much as, yes, we want to ensure that there is safety, we want the safety systems to be present in school, we want education to continue, we also realize that these teachers are also human beings with feelings, who are also going through real situations that they may not even be telling their school owners or their school leaders, as it were. So what are the plans to ensure that their mental health and their mental health is covered? Are there kinds of programs schools are going to put in place, the teachers in your network anyway? Are there programs that have been put in place to manage this? Is there some sort of counseling? Is just that platform available where they know that they can be free to express themselves without judgment?
Thank you, Safety Chick. I would answer that question. Let me know if you can hear me.
Can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So part of the provisions in Fix It is that we want to provide neurological cover for teachers and school owners. When we say that school owners can join Fix It, we hope that they can come tell us where their pain points are. And as much as we can know what the pain points are, part of our solution is to say, okay, this is what we can provide for you as a near to free opportunity. If there is a teacher who subscribes to Fix It, for instance, as an independent effort, then such a teacher can enjoy, say, coaching or guidance.
Oh, but Stan, your line is cracking up. We can't really hear you clearly.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Much better now.
Much better
than before.
Okay, so I was saying that the subscription for Fix It is open to both school owners and teachers by themselves. If anyone in Fix It says, oh, I need help with my mental health, I need help with coping with pressure, I need help with managing the overload of demands on my table, then such a person gets the support with respect to that. One of the things we decided to do, for instance, is we have a free group that will have very lightweight courses and trainings. But the main need is for those who subscribe to Fix It. So in the free group, for instance, we could have trainings where we talk about how to help yourself with mental, emotional, and mental wellness. But the main need of coaching you and helping you with implementation is in the subscription itself. Now, one of the things I know has happened is many people are not even aware of their timesheet. And what's a timesheet? We have 24 hours. And many people say, I don't have time. But there is proof again and again that when you look at your timesheet, you are wasting at least 3 hours every day doing something that is not useful to you. And so many people think that, oh, I'm overburdened with work. I have too much work to do. And there is no time. But when we look at the timesheet, you will realize that, oh, I actually am the one that creates the impediments that I'm suffering from. And these are some of the solutions we want to give you insight into, to be able to know this is how I can recreate my day and maximize the day that I have, compartmentalize my work enough to be able to be productive. So yes, on the basis of Fix It, we are going to be responding to problems that have been made open to the team, and then we can provide a way forward for it. It's going to be purely on a basis of responsiveness. That is the strategy we hope to employ. Mrs. Ajala could also add to that if there's something that you want.
I think you've covered it very well.
Thank you.
Um, Kiki, Titi, Jude. Jude is not saying anything. Jude, Dr. Jude.
Okay.
Dr. Jude. Okay.
Jude's mic is on mute.
Oh,
Another thing I was going to ask is, as we look at schools, so I'd ask about for the teachers, as we look at schools, in terms of a school, being able to stand out and position itself at an advantage, especially in the new, what we all like to say as the new normal. Because, sometimes Nigerians will have short memories, but I don't know. With COVID and online learning, it seems as if there's a shift in what was an advantage before to what should be an advantage going forward for schools. So my question is, as schools prepare post-COVID, what should they be taking on as this is the area where you need to position your school at an advantage without it necessarily requiring heavy investment? Because as Mrs. Ajala said, a lot are already tied down with loans. So all that quickly put major investments in technology and all that might not really happen based on where they currently are. So what would be advantage, or what should advantage look like, for the school post-COVID?
Advantage for the school post-COVID. What we say first is that in going forward, every school should have a business continuity management plan. You can't go far without that. It's important to have a plan that can even forecast if there's a resurgence. It's important to have a plan that shows the capacity of what your workforce is and where the gaps are and what needs to be done. It's important at this stage to do a needs assessment of where you are right now. Schools and schools leadership team needs to be honest to themselves to say, this is where we stand. We cannot cope with this technology now. These are the things we're going to do. And this is how we're going to move so that we're going to get our kids digitally matured across the board at a particular time and have a plan. Without the continuity plan that will give your school a high level of sustainability, you can't just jump into it again. Because like you said, if we go back to the normal brick and mortar, technology will be forgotten. So you now need to position your school in an advantageous manner to show that the blended curriculum they are talking about, having a mix of both the technology and the brick and mortar, and also building skills in your children that position them for a global future. You have to look at that. And if you do not have the business continuity management plan document to guide you in all the critical services you are offering, and to see, it's like, like a business plan that will hold you forward, then you will just be, trial and error every day. Let's try this today. Let's try. You will follow the waves of the time, and you will not be able to do much. So that, I think, is one of the things going forward.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
and I also think that it's very important that every practitioner out there recognizes that business as usual is not going to be the reality. We must be deliberate to prevent taking things and just slide as it were. So which is why I'm excited about Fix It, because it's about fixing it. It's not about talking about it. It's not about sharing about it.
Action.
It's not even about discovering about it, but it's about fixing it. And I know that if there's anything you have to do with problems, is to fix it. Problems are not meant to be, toyed with or just, perturbed around. So
I was listening to you guys. It was exciting because I do know that for a lot of school owners, one of the problem is they do not have a lot of business sense. So I like to say that we come to education with a lot of heart. So it's hard. And then, but there's the business angle of it. And that's the one that sadly is lacking. And that was what was blown up in a lot of people's faces during this COVID-19, because business, as you know, it ceased to exist. So, I mean, hearing about Fix It is really exciting for me. So the only question that I have is, I'm hoping, and then seeing that Sam is a coach and Rotimi is there. So it was exciting for me, because I want to believe that some of the tools that you guys are going to use is to come from a position of mentoring, such that the school leaders and the school teams who are in that space can actually are handheld to find the answers for themselves. Because I'm a firm believer that there's only people within the system that can truly solve the problems of the system. So I just want to if you can please reaffirm that that's the kind of platform it's going to be. People are going to work towards developing their own functional skills, not just being spoon-fed. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. You are very correct with that, KK. We because of our background in coaching, and because we have handheld people for over a decade and much more than that, you can agree with me that people's answers are in themselves. People have their answers, actually. Our job is to provide the tools that makes them know what they really want to do. But because we are also very business savvy, one of the things we must do is that for every answer that a school owner or a participant brings up, we need to understand what is the business in this idea, or what is this business response. Because I can speak for myself, and I can speak for Rotimi, and I can speak for Mrs. Ajala. We're very concerned about revenue and business success. So it's not just about like you said, the passion, the commitment, the hustle. We want to be able to say, okay, having tried this, does it provide for you the breakthrough and break-even point? A typical example, some of the things we hope to establish is, do you really have to do every subject in your curriculum? There are significant subjects, and there are subjects that are just for the formality of it. So hopefully when the participants join Fix It, we want to strategize with you. What is your school's niche? What's your strategy? And what's your major advantage? And then we leverage on that advantage to give you a lead in the market. So you don't have to do everything. A typical example, some of the things we hope to brainstorm in the group is, do you actually have to be in school every day? Or like Mr. Ajala likes to put it, the blended days. There may be days for brick and mortar training. There may be days for digital learning, even if we're in school. So that somehow we can keep the technology and harmonizing the traditional learning. But for the school owners, we want to focus on how all your investments can be business breakthroughs for you. So it's going to be a mix of what the stakeholders want and what we can advise them to
best
consider.
Practice.
Yes, so that's the way we're looking at it.
Fantastic. Okay.
I really love the part about bridging the curriculum and choosing what is really important, because the truth is, with the way things have changed now, and we're talking about social distancing in classrooms, we're talking about alternate days of learning, staggered resumption and stuff like that, it means we may not have enough time anymore. So that means we have to focus on our core.
On the
if there are still things that are not really achieving anything, why are we still doing it? Why not focus our energies on transferring the knowledge that is really core at this time? So I'm really happy to hear that.
Safety chick, let me fight you a little there, safety chick. I mean, you're my friend. I love you very much. But when you look at school curriculum, right, there's nothing that is not important in itself. The problem is the procedure, right? So instead of knocking it off, what we can basically do is say, how do we integrate this? How do we look at the functional aspects of it? And that's what I'm hoping Fix It will, of course, fix. Helping people move from the way it has always been done to the way it should be done, without necessarily negating the essence of a full rounded curriculum. So how do you integrate? Okay. All right.
Because there are actually some parts of our curriculum that are not really functional at this time. For example, during this period when we want to do some training, one of the teachers mentioned that they have to split certain things across, for one topic, they have to split it across different days. Now, if we do not have enough time for you to split it across different days, how can you please transfer that information in a more functional way that the children still get what they need to get without you splitting it that way? Do you see what I mean? So that functionality is so important now.
Okay.
Someone is asking if Mrs.
Thanks for
Ajala
clarifying.
fix it. Let's get the
Mrs. Ajala cannot not be part of Fix It.
Interesting, fantastic.
So, yes, Mrs. Ajala is part of Fix It.
Fantastic.
Sounds very good.
Yeah. Jude, are you there now? Okay, let's just take comments. Let's take comments. And what we normally do on the show is when we have a guest, we give the guest the privilege to read our comments and questions. So that's the ritual of the show. So maybe we'll shuffle it. We'll do from a little bit with Coach and then a little bit with Ajala. So I'm this Coach Sam. I need that voice there. Okay. All right. So let's start. So over to you, Coach Sam.
What do you want me to say now?
You read the comments and some of the questions.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
So,
Hello.
Jude is back.
Oh, Jude is finally here.
Finally, welcome back. Where did you go to?
I had a call.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
okay.
right.
Do you want to say something before we take our comments?
Okay. I really appreciate Coach Sam and Mrs. Angela, and I think the initiative is superb. It's a superb initiative for our schools, for teachers, and all that. The truth is that it's far better than what government has been providing all this while. It's far better. I'm not dissing our government anyway, but at least we have citizens who are very concerned enough to actually spearhead practical solutions for schools, and I really appreciate that. Because it almost seems like a hopeless situation for schools and teachers till this point. And I wish it was wide enough to actually accommodate a lot of schools and a lot of teachers. But really, it's a laudable approach and it's practical solution. Thank you so much, Coach Sam and Mrs. Angela.
Thank you very much. One of the things
you said
you didn't thank me.
Oh, Mr. Arotivi, thank you for bringing them on. Thank you for bringing them on. The connected educator.
Okay, so let's have the comments now because of time. So, Coach, over to you.
Okay, so Obianuju says, Mrs. Ajala, can you please shed more light on business continuity plan for school owners? It would be nice if we get practical insights to this. Okay, well, this is why you should be in Fix It, actually. Mrs. Ajala has a robust business continuity management plan that she has facilitated across several platforms where I have joined. But let me allow her share maybe one or two ideas or something. But for the full weight of this, you definitely need to be in Fix It. Mrs. Ajala.
Thank you very much. A business continuity management plan actually is a plan to help you and guide you against, to forestall anything that can be a challenge to you, not just the pandemic, because a challenge could be in terms of even having a trusted hand or the head of your school leave you suddenly and you are just left hanging. So not just the pandemic. And the plan takes you through some steps and some processes where, looking at the content from your school, you are able to put your contingency plans in place. You are able to see the minimum requirement number of resources and staff you need. You are able to see budget, how you put it together. A guide that will just take you into any situation that when something happens, and it's peculiar to every school. My plan cannot be your plan. And so we need to work with what is within you. How do you go on? How do you go ahead now, for example, for lean operations? Where are the places you are going to cut costs? In looking at the way you run things, we can tell you this is not necessary, cut off this, merge this, outsource this, put this in place. So it's a step-by-step process that helps your
Mm.
school to be in business no matter what
Mm.
happens. That's why it's called
Right.
a business continuity management plan. The business continues because there's a plan that goes with it, irrespective of
Thank
any
you.
disaster.
Thank you very much, Ma. Mary Igili Emma says, the one-on-one segment on Fix It, will it be online also? Yes, Fix It is 100% virtual. Every subscriber to Fix It would have one contact per month with each coach. So the three stakeholders in Fix It are Mrs. Angela Ajala, Mr. Rotimi Eitayo, and myself. And every subscriber would have one-on-one contact every month. So that guarantees you three personal contacts in the 3 months that we're piloting Fix It before we're able to scale up on that. Now, one of the things we also hope to do in the course of the 3 months is that when we find a strategic partner or a strategic solution provider or a strategic idea giver or a strategic solution giver, we would invite such people into the community to provide some sense of resources or direction to the subscribers. So it's not just, oh, myself, Mrs. Ajala, and Rotimi every day. No, it's not even going to be an everyday kind of thing. But the goal generally is we want to provide you solutions for your challenges. Gideon SCN says, how can we get involved in Fix It? So you would love to call the number 0807 361 0884 0807 361 0884. That number, you would get guidance on how to subscribe and some other details that you can use to benefit and join the group. There is also a link to join the Telegram group, the free group. That number will give you the link. You join the group where we can have more conversations. But the exclusive subscription group, we don't share the link until you have subscribed. So you're welcome. And remember, first paid, first join, because it's a very limited opportunity because we want to give the maximum possible value. So we look forward to having you in Fix It. Let's fix things together. Okay, Gideon again says, how can this be implemented with the current curriculum in Nigeria? It is set for the teaching to test. Okay, I don't get that last part. But, well, the idea of Fix It is we want to be able to brainstorm and provide a strategic way forward, maximizing the current curriculum. Remember, the Federal Ministry of Education is the custodian of the curriculum. So our intention is not come and change the curriculum or come and scatter the curriculum. We don't have that power. What we have power over is how do we maximize the components and the structure and the content of the curriculum? How do we make sure every parent gets the maximum value for every payment? How do we ensure every child gets the maximum value from every learning? How do we ensure every teacher gets the maximum value from every impact? And how do we ensure every school owner gets the maximum value for every investment? Every stakeholder should get their maximum value from the context of where they are coming from. So that is the role we hope to play. We are not changing the curriculum approved by the federal government, but we will do what we can to maximize the dynamics of that curriculum. I hope I made sense, Mrs. Ajala.
Yes, you did.
Okay, so let's just have one or two more comments and then
Okay, perfect.
Okay, I think we've been able to have enough of the comments today, and we'll just try to draw the curtain because it's already the hour mark. So I would like us to ask for last words or parting shots, starting with Mr. Ajala. Last words as we bring this show to a close. It's been 1 hour already, and it feels like we just started. I have a lot of questions to ask, but that we can do in camera. So over to you, Ma.
Thank you very much. I would like to encourage school owners because I am one. And like one of our the panelists said, we only throw our heart into the business. We're so passionate about it. The business side we do not do. And in the season where we are, you will work when you work together in the areas of collaboration and when you work with a coach. Do not reinvent the wheel. Absolutely unnecessary. See what has been done, leverage on the experience and the network of other people, and take your school to the next level. And that's part of what Fix It will do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And of course, Coach Sam, last words.
Coach Sam, we can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, in my business community, we say business is not created to succeed, business is created to grow. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Is that the end of that statement, or you're still having more to say?
Okay, so I was saying, we say business is not created to succeed.
Network.
Okay, Mr. Sam, please.
Business is not created to succeed, business is created to grow. So if you join Fix It, we would partner with you to grow your business. That's what I just have to say. Thank you for having me.
Business is created to grow, not just succeed. So KK, over to KK. Laughter. Your mic, KK, your mic.
Yeah, I just realized it was. It's been a really interesting one today, looking at the business side of things. And it kind of flows from our conversation yesterday, talking about networks and the importance of leveraging networks and how we can actually better ourselves simply because we're in the right network. So yeah, I do believe that Fix It seeks, among so many other networks that are available, to solve the problem of business sense in business leadership, in school leadership.
Yeah. Safety check.
Okay, so I would like to say that all teachers, school owners should get on board this program because aside the fact they are going to get knowledge, they're going to get into a working network. There was something Mrs. Ajala said at the beginning, and she talked about the NISA loan. Imagine how many people would have lost that opportunity just because they were not informed. So it's always great to be a part of a worthy network so that you can also get information. So aside the learning, you'd also have access to information about opportunities that can help you. So please sign up.
Thank you very much. And Titi, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. What I want to say, what Mrs. Ajala has said, I'm a strong believer in not reinventing the wheel. Very strong believer in not reinventing the wheel. Don't reinvent the wheel. Someone already has a template. Just get that template, see how you can tweak it, to use it is more productive, saves a lot of time. So I would advise every school owner, this Fix It is the new in thing. You need to just be part of it. Well done to the team, Mrs. Ajala, Coach Sam, Rotimi Tayo. I think it's going to be awesome. Please just won't be thinking about it. Rotimi, it would have been nice if you could put something there, the numbers that was called out so that people can pick it up in the group, in the comment section of what exactly they need to just do now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just like we've all said, if you can see it, we can fix it. If you can think it, we can fix it. If you can feel it, we can fix it. And if it needs fixing, Please fix it. Join Fix It, and we will fix things for you, with you, through you. Ugochi, how are you feeling? You're feeling my vibes, right? You need to fix it. If you want to feel the vibes, fix it, all right? And how do you fix it? Call the number 080-736-10884. On the Good Morning Education Facebook page, the details are there. On my Facebook page, the details are there. And after the show, we're going to play the news, and you see the advert there as well. And we're going to also on Mr. Ajala's page on Facebook and all the other social media platforms, it's there. On Coach Sam Obafemi's pages, they are also there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great time today, and we can't thank our guests more than enough just to thank them for the hour spent with us. That is more or less a perfect gift for the weekend. And please, if you are anywhere in Lagos or online, please visit Piro's Food Shop at Piro's Food Shop on Instagram. And if you can come live to 51 Okwebi, there's a store opening grand event happening between today, tomorrow, and Sunday. I already have my top, and I might also have my free shoe because I'm wearing top. Those that did not show their face with their tops, they might not get any other gift like Titi and Jude and Eben. So, but it's been a great time. As we fix our shoe and we fix our shirt, please fix your school. And I'm sure it will be great. Please follow Miss Ajala on YouTube. She's on Facebook. She's everywhere. And please also follow Coach Sam and follow all our analysts, and ensure that you always follow what we say on the Good Morning Education Show. And it's simple. We always say that it's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. And this is signing out and saying, have a great weekend. Thank you and bye-bye. Thank you very much.